Hey guys, Caleb Thornton here, coming at you with a review of the Wired Aerox 3 today. I recently did review the wireless Aerox 3, and if you guys want to check that out, I'll have it linked in the description down below. Today we're going to be taking a look at the wired one though, and also comparing it to the wireless one, which I have right over here, and seeing if they improved on any of the things I didn't like with the wireless one, as well as if it's just going to be worth the price for this one. So stick around to hear about the build quality, performance, features, whether it's worth the price and going to be right for you. You can pick up the Aerox 3 wired for $60, so putting it right around a similar price point as some recent releases we just saw with the Rocat Burst Pro, as well as the HyperX Pulse Fire Haste, being right around that same price point, and then also putting it $40 under the Aerox 3 wireless, which comes in at $100. And out of the box, as getting the mouse, you also get that same detachable USB-C cable we saw with the wireless version, as well as an instruction pamphlet. Starting with weight and build quality, this comes in at 57 grams, so super lightweight in hand. Obviously, the cord being on there does add a little bit of clunkiness to it overall, but putting it about 10 grams lighter than the wireless version, and that's just of course because they don't have to have the battery in there or any of those wireless components. Are able to cut down the weight even more so. As far as the shell itself though, exactly the same, exactly same shape, exactly same plastic, ABS plastic on there, and then you also get that rougher texture on mouse 1 and 2, as well as on the side panels, and I have to say the texturing on it, I really do like it. It's also sweat resistant, so my hand doesn't get clammy or sweaty on top of it, and it does provide me with adequate grip, so overall, build quality really solid, no creaking or flexing in the side panels either. Overall, just a nice build and texture to the plastic shell. You do get that same detachable USB-C cable on the wired version, which is kind of interesting to get a detachable cable on a mouse that you can only use wired, but it is nice, of course, for those of you that might want to swap this out with a custom one. And I'm going to say you're probably going to want to, because it's not the best. I mean, it's passable, it's not horrible, it's just not the most flexible, and it just feels kind of weird and bulky and clunky, especially with the shrink wrap and then the stress release coming out of the front of the mouse. It's like an inch and a half of hard plastic coming out, and then the cable itself not being that great. Even in a bungee, it still gave me a little bit of extra drag that just felt bad, so I would recommend looking into maybe getting a paracord with the USB-C end, then you can pop that in here and you'd be a lot better off. The shape on the Wired Aerox 3 is of course the same as the wireless one, and it's also the same as the Rival 3 wireless, as well as the Rival 3, and I've had a lot of time testing the shape between all of these mice right here, and I have to say it's a good shape. It's an all-around safe shape from SteelSeries, being the fact that it's going to work for most people being around that sweet spot of that medium ambi. And I would say just the most polarizing characteristic of the shape, if you even want to call it that, is where it sweeps out or curves out, flares out, whatever you want to call it, towards the back. For me, I like it. It helps me lock into a nice claw feeling grip because my fingers can rest into those grooves there. For some of you guys, maybe depending on your hand size or grip style, you might find that getting in the way a little bit, but it's nothing that you can't get used to. Overall, it's a safe shape for basically anyone to pick up. I will say though, those of you with bigger hands, like myself, gonna limit you a little bit more just to that claw and fingertip style, grip style. Although I can still pop into a little bit of a palm on this, although it's not the most comfortable. So whatever your hand size is and your grip style, you're gonna be able to find a comfortable grip on this for you. You get 6 programmable buttons, the same as the wireless version on the Wired Aerox 3, and these are using the same mechanical switches in it, those golden micro IP54s, which give you up to an 80 million click life cycle, so a lot of headroom to work with there. Before we talk any more about them though, I'll go ahead and throw you guys into another sound test. Again, the clicks feel really nice to me, being snappy, a nice response, and giving me no issues as far as being responsive overall, or double clicking or anything like that. And again, I did have a little bit of crunchiness present in my left click on the wireless one, but I do believe that was just a QC issue because I don't have that present at all in the wired version. They both feel really solid. One thing I will bring out though about mouse 1 and 2 is there is a bit of side-to-side play there. It's not horrific, like too much where I can't handle it. The only way you can really feel it is if you're deliberately pushing side to side on it. In game, I can't tell. What I'm more interested in is maybe over months of use, how these are gonna hold up as separated clicks. I would be interested to see. I hope that they hold up well, but I could possibly see these getting pretty loose over time, but obviously, I hope that's not the case, and right now they feel just perfectly fine. Not to beat a dead horse, again, with the side buttons, I don't like them, but it does come down to personal preference there. For me, I like bigger, chunkier side buttons that I can find easier. These things are skinny, come up to a point, hard to find when I'm in game. I just don't like them. I would love to see them redesign them. Again, you can get used to it. You might like it. Just for me personally, I like to bring out what I like and what I don't like. I know that some people are fine with them. I know that some people don't like them. So a lot of this is gonna come down to personal preference. For me, I don't like them very much, but you guys are able to get used to them and it's just gonna be just fine. I'm already getting used to them over the, like week and a half I've been testing both these mice, and they do work and function just like normal side buttons, and they do feel pretty solid, just being a little bit mushy like we see normally. Moving on to the scroll wheel though, really nice. Again, I really love SteelSeries scroll wheels. They are very low profile though, so that's something you don't like. You might not enjoy them as much as me, but they have nice tactile bumps. So you can easily feel each step in the scroll wheel, as well as an easy to depress scroll wheel with a satisfying response. And then finally down below that, we have the DPI button, which everyone knows what that does. Allows you to cycle between your preset stages, which can be configured in the SteelSeries software. Looking at the bottom of the mouse, I'm sad to say that same issue that bothered me so badly with the wireless version is still present here with these skates just being really scratchy. And a lot of this is going to come down to your grip style, how heavy your hand is, as well as your playing surface or that mouse pad that you're using. Because a lot of it just has to do with how stinking thin they made them. And obviously it's not 100% PTFE either. I mean, you got black feet, which means that they have additives in them overall. So they're not the best glide, but they do feel nice as long as you're not putting any pressure down. Because as soon as you start, getting some pressure on there, so if you're someone that uses fingertip grip, you don't put a lot of pressure on the mouse, you're probably not gonna be bothered by this. If you're someone that goes into a more of a maybe aggressive claw, or you start pushing down and you're on a softer mouse pad, you're really gonna start feeling that plastic frame of the mouse scratch on it, just because you're depressing into the mouse pad enough where those thin feet are just sinking right in, and then you're scraping up on the plastic around the edging of the mouse. So if there's anything you're replacing this, I would just say wait for some aftermarket skates to come out and then pick it up so you can replace that immediately. Because for me personally, with my playstyle, these things are noisy, scratchy, and it also affects just getting drag behind it, and it just does not feel good overall. I tried my best to get used to them or break them in, but they never do, and I believe that is just because of how thin they are and the plastic-based scratching. The sensor in the wired version is their TrueMove Core versus the TrueMove Air that we see in the wireless, and for me personally, I can't tell a stinking difference between optical sensors, and I can't tell a difference between optical sensors jumping from mouse to mouse with all these nice gaming grade sensors, because they are all super spot on, and that's been my case with these ones so far. The main difference with them is just gonna be that this one only goes up to 8,500 DPI, whereas the wireless one can go up to 18,000, but I don't know who even plays over 8,500 DPI, so for most of you, that's probably not gonna be that big of an issue. Overall, I'm just coming to somewhat of that same conclusion there, because I think it has great potential to be an amazing mouse. I just think it falls short, and with some minor tweaks, I think it could be that great mouse that it has a potential to be, mainly with that being, those skates, which have given me a lot of issues. I know it's given a lot of other people issues, as well as maybe looking into a side button redesign that would open it up to a wider range of people that like, those bigger, chunkier side buttons that are easier to find when playing. Again though, side buttons, definitely something you can get used to. I've already gotten used to them over my week and a half of testing these mice right here as well. The main thing I would say is just looking out for aftermarket skates, because that's probably going to be something that you want to replace in the first place, especially if you're someone that really likes that smooth and consistent glide and don't have to worry about any scratchiness affecting your aim overall. Would I recommend it? Not really. I would say that, the Burst Pro from Rocat that just came out, I think that's a better deal. The Pulsefire Haste just came out as well, being about $10 cheaper than this too. I believe that's $50. I think that's a better deal. I think you're getting better bang for your buck with those mice, but if you love the Rival 3 shape and you want a lightweight version of that, well, this definitely gives it to you. Again, just watch out for those things with it. If you want that shape though, with the lightweight feel to it, then I would definitely pick this up for that reason. Otherwise, I would go with something else that just gives you a little bit better bang for your buck. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I don't want you to view this as me just hating SteelSeries, because I really do love their mouse, and I love the Rival 3 wireless as well as the Rival 3. I just feel that they could have made some big improvements here, and it was something I was really hoping to see from SteelSeries, because I really do enjoy their mice. But we'll see what they bring in the future, especially with the Next and the Aerox lineup with their lightweight gaming mice they're pushing out right now. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please hit that like button for me, and do consider subscribing for more content just like this in the very near future, and I'll see you guys in the next one.